In this video, we are going to introduce the future value calculation, future value concept, and its calculation, and a very important term is called compounding. I will use the example on PowerPoint slide number 7. In that PowerPoint, we start with a 1-year example, which is very simple. So I will skip the 1-period example, and we are going to look at this 2-period example. Now, in this example, suppose an investor invests $100 for 2 periods. Now, suppose 1 period is a year. So invest $100 for 2 years and earn 5% interest per year. Now, how much will the investor get by the end of the second period? Now, first, I would recommend that you draw a timeline in the future. It is a good habit to draw a timeline each time you work with a time value of money problem. So this is a 2-year investment example. So we are going to put 2 periods today. Tick mark 1, period 1, tick mark 2, period 2. Now we are going to put down the 5 elements. Now today, $100 is going to be invested. So that is the beginning balance. So the beginning balance to start with is $100. Of course, this is a use of money, so we are going to use a negative number. Now beginning balance, we use PV. The beginning balance present value is going to be negative $100. So this is the first element. Now we already have the second element, which is 2. So that's the end of the investment. We can use N. The book, I think, uses D. But anyway, that's the end of the investment. Now the growth rate of money, interest rate, is 5%. We have the third element. Now this is a 1 cash flow example. So besides putting $100 into the investment, the investor will not do anything. For example, will not put any additional money into the investment, or will not take any money out of the investment until the end. So we don't have any intermediate cash flow. So we can put PMT equals to 0. So we have 4 elements given here. Now the only thing we don't know is the ending balance, how much we can get at the end. So the future value, now I will put a 2 here. So that's the ending balance at the end of the second period. So this is going to be question mark. Now just excuse me, I will put a 0 here. So that is the beginning balance today. So PV0 equals negative $100. Now we want to find the future value. Now I want to use this example to show you the concept of compounding. So I will work period after period. Now once you understand the concept and the future value calculation, do not do it period by period. Simply apply the future value formula. So here I will do it period by period. Now this $100 will grow at 5% for 1 period, so we can easily find the balance at the end of the first period. So let me cross out this payment here. Now $100 growing at 5% for 1 period, it will give us the value in the future. So I'm going to use FV1, which is going to be $105. Now I'm going to decompose the number. 105 equals 100 plus $5, which represents the interest. Interest is 5% of the 100, so I'm going to write down 100 times 5%. So this is the balance at the end of the first period. Now we want to know the balance at the end of the second period. So we have to move the money one period into the future. So we are going to move it to the future. Now it is very important that you remember, you notice here, the balance is 105. We have $5 interest. So the entire $105 will be able to earn interest. So the future value at the end of year 2 is going to be $105. So this is the money at the end of year 1 plus the interest earned on 105, which is 105 times 5%. Now the final result is $110.25. Now the interesting thing is, if we decompose this number, now this number is going to be $100 plus we have $10 plus we have a quarter, which is here, which is 25 cents. Now let's look at the meaning of each number. This $100, that is the beginning balance, initial investment. So this is what we call the principal. Now we have $10. Now this $10, I can further decompose the $10 into $5 plus $5. Now the first $5, we have 100 invested for 1 year, for 1 period. This $100 will earn $5. So this is the interest earned on the principal. And then this $100 will continue to earn interest in the second period. So that's another $5. In other words, we have two $5 bills, $10. This represents the interest earned by the principal over the two periods. So that's the interest generated by the principal. Now, what is interesting is this 25 cents. Now, where does the 25 cents come from? The 25 cents is earned by the first $5 interest. Now notice we have not only the principal here, we have the $5 extra, which is the interest earned in the first period. And the net $5 will continue to earn 5%. So $5 times 5%, 25 cents. In other words, this 25 cents is the interest earned on previously generated interest. So this is a very important part, very interesting part. Now, in summary, the future value is $100, which is the principal, plus $10. Now $10 is the sum of the two $5 bills. That is the interest earned, generated by the principal. We call it simple interest. And then we have a 25 cents, which is the interest generated by the first period's interest. So this is the interest on interest. Now, the sum of simple interest and interest on interest, in other words, the $10.25 represents the total interest. We call it compound interest. Now, in this example, we actually allow previously earned interest to continue to earn interest. This is called compounding. In other words, compounding is the process in which previously generated interest can continue to earn interest. So the future value is the sum of three parts. The first part is the principal, second part is the interest earned by the principal, the third part is the interest earned by previously generated interest. And this 25 cents is the effect of compounding. Now, if you look at the PowerPoint, slide number 12 and also slide number 13, these two slides show the effect of compounding. Initially, because the interest is low, the interest on interest represents a small portion of the future value. But if the invest lasts for longer and a longer period, the investment is able to earn more and more interest. So the interest earned on interest is going to increase. Eventually, the compound interest is going to become larger and larger. Actually, the compound interest is increasing at exponential rate. So if the investment is long enough, the effect of compounding, that is the interest on interest, will dominate, will become the largest part in the future value. So this is the future value and the compounding